Hello and welcome to Lunch with Andy. This is week 4, I think, and we've got a really cool guest today. Thanks to all you guys who are showing up. This is my friend Filipe Ghesla from Brazil, and he's a longtime firster. He's a very important part of what's going on in Brazil in the first world, and he started out as a student on a team. Team 1156 has been his team. He moved into being a mentor on that team, and now he and another young man, Daniel Hanauer, they run StemOS in Brazil. StemOS provides distribution of a lot of parts for Brazilian teams, and they're also involved heavily in coordinating some of the events in Brazil with other organizations. And so they do a lot of great things for teams in Brazil. I've gotten to know Philippe and Daniel over the last couple of years, and I'm really happy that he's on the show today.
Hello, Andy. It's a pleasure to be here.
What's your favorite event as a firster over all your years?
Well, there's a lot of events we have been in, but for me, there is two main memories I have. And the first one was as a first LIGO League student in 2007 when I entered Georgia Dome, and I saw all that huge arena was like something I can remember every day. Like is was really special as a student. And the second one is as a mentor, the whole 2018 season when we traveled from New York Tech Valley Regional to Iowa Regional, and we managed to win both regionals. So it was a crazy season. We did well in the championship. So it was probably this year is my best memory as a mentor and as a student 2007 in first LIGO League.
And I'm sure you still help out your team. I see your team, they have these yellow football jerseys, or we would call them soccer jerseys, but you guys, football jerseys like the Brazilian football team, and you're very prominent when you go to events. We got a new game on our hands. Actually, priorities. Sorry. This is Lunch with Andy. What are you having for lunch, Philippe? What's going on?
I'm having some currywurst with potatoes.
Ah,
I'm actually in Germany at this time, so I'm having a local food.
well, this is this is a huge sandwich. This is a local delicacy for us in Indiana. It's a tenderloin sandwich, kind of like schnitzel in Germany. If you
Yeah,
go find a schnitzel in Germany, it looks a lot like this. It's a lightly breaded pork piece, and they put it here on a bun, and you eat it like a sandwich. But really, you can't. So I had to have like a fork and a knife. So back to my question: what do you think of this game? We got a new game on our hands. What do you think?
I'm really excited about this game. Is probably is different from previous seasons. Uh, I can expect a lot of traffic out around that charge station. So everybody is will be going for the grid to score points, but there's not too much space. So swerve drives will probably have some advantage because there's not too much space, and if you can go around that charge station, it may be a advantage. But I like it. After all, it's a nice game. A lot of strategy probably will have an impact on the ranking and the four ranking points as well. I am excited to see what will happen.
I'm on a team also, and I've been so focused on just getting the robot designed and the details of the design. I haven't spent that much time on strategy, but yeah, there's a lot of strategy parallels with maybe 2011. We had the logo motion objects in a row, and also like 2005 when we had the tetras
That's it.
stacked in a row, kind of like this year's FTC game, really. It'll be interesting to see how the games play. This is definitely a lot different game than the last couple of years. Mary and I had a great time this past summer. We went down to an off-season event in August in Rio de Janeiro. It was fantastic. And we got to know you and Daniel and all kinds of people down in Brazil, and we got to know a little bit of the history down there. What can you tell viewers about the history of First in Brazil? How did it get started? What were the regionals like in the past? Those types of things.
Well, so first really started in Brazil with FRC in the year 2000. The team 383 was founded, and they used to play many regionals like Virginia. They made to the championship sometimes, and after that, the team that I'm related to, 1156, was founded 2003, and after that, some other teams were founded all over the country. So Brazil is really huge. So this was always a challenge. It's not like you cannot have like some regionals. So 2007, we managed to have our first regional. That was a pilot actually. In 2008, another regional with, I guess, 18 or 20 teams, something like this. But after that, some money problems to fund the regionals, and and the teams. Many sponsors, due to the global crisis, cut their fund to the teams, and um, we stayed with like 10 teams for a long period.
Right.
And but after that, first Lago League was really huge in Brazil. We went to have like 1,000 teams, um, and this SESI, that is the PDP for first here in Brazil, they really make first Lago League strong, and they decided to move to FTC and FRC. So they started FTC in 2018, and now we have like uh, 70 teams for FTC. We have a national championship, some scrimmages all over the country, and they moved to FRC. But as you know, it's really more difficult to do FRC than the both other programs. Um, but they managed to do. They started a lot of teams. We right now have more than 40 FRC teams here in Brazil. So
Wow.
it's an unbelievable number. Moving from like in 2019 we had like 12 to 15 teams, and right now we have, post pandemic, we have 40, more than 40. So and we had this off season in order to show to these teams what the event is all about, and to show first that Brazil can do well in FRC as well. So it was a blast to have you here, and to see all that we can do in robotics.
I mean, your team is from the south, way down south of Brazil, and in a way, you guys were tourists also when you went to Rio for the event this in August. We met teams there from the Amazon, from which is way north, and the south where your team is, and all around Brazil. It was a crazy event. It was nice, and you mentioned SESI. SESI was incredible. They're a government organization providing support for all kinds of programs, but one of them is FIRST programs, and that's the support that SESI has put behind FIRST in Brazil is really impressive.
Yes, without them, that would not be possible to achieve these huge numbers we have with FLL, FTC, and FRC. So we have been doing an FRC since a long time. We saw all the regionals happening, and then the organization struggling to find funds. For us, it's really special to have like a big organization supporting this, and helping more students to live what we have lived in the past.
For FRC teams, especially in the past, you have a new regional coming this year, so it's going to be easier for FRC teams in Brazil to participate in FRC. But especially in the past, what's the most difficult things that FRC teams have to deal with being from Brazil?
Until this year, I would say to your need to go abroad to compete. But this year we have a regional in our country, but we still have some challenges, like having parts for the robots is hard. as you know, many parts were out of stock for everybody. So some of them came in the last weeks of December or early January, and then we StemOS we could buy from you and have it in Brazil. So there's a lot of time between buying from you and sending to the teams. So the time is still a huge challenge in Brazil. Brazilian teams always need to deal with, and probably will remain for some time.
Yeah, it's distribution internationally is a challenge, especially with the difficulty of the shortened timeline of an FRC season. It's it's a big problem. You guys are working hard to alleviate that, and I think Stemos has been fabulous to work with. We really like working with you and Daniel and your team to get parts out to the Brazilian teams. So Brazilian regional this coming March 16th through the 18th. It's going to be really exciting. You guys are having a FRC regional at a World Cup facility where they played the World Cup in Brazil a couple years ago. Is that right?
Yes, yes. So this is something we are really excited about, to have all the kids from FRC, FTC, and First Lego League um, doing what they love in a really nice stadium. Mané Garrincha Stadium held some World Cup football matches in 2014. So it's a really nice and new arena, and for many kids will be the first time they will be like inside and stadium, just not watching football or soccer games. They will be being the actors of that moment. You have been in our event in August. You saw that many LED screens and
Right.
stuff. So the events organizer are preparing a really nice setup for the event, and will be great.
Those kids walking into that stadium will get the same feeling that you thought when your FLL team went to Atlanta. That
Yeah,
same wow,
yeah,
inspiration. That's pretty cool. Traveling to the U.S. has been a challenge. I've heard stories about parts in luggage and robots disassembled, reassembled. What are some of your favorite memories about getting your team and your robot and items to the states when you like qualify for worlds or other events like that?
yeah. There is many stories here in Brazil about this, because it's not a easy logistics to do. So many teams actually they disassemble the robots and took with them at the airport as a hand luggage. We had a bad time some year. I don't remember the year, when we were traveling. I guess from Chicago to St. Louis to the championship, and we just stopped to see the city of Chicago like 20 minutes, and when we came back, our truck with the robot was not there anymore.
Oh,
Was told. So we need to find where the van was, and but everything was just fine. So, but it's a fun memory now, but at that time was not that fun.
I bet.
And the nice part is being part of a really nice community that is first. Like I
Yeah.
can remember many examples of like having a part broken, or don't having the right electronic or motor to replace something, and every time some team appears to help all the Brazilian teams.
That's neat. That's of course. The first community is awesome, right? That's
Yeah.
great. Gosh, what questions do you have for me? Do you have anything for me?
Any tip from for our Brazilian rookies? That would be great.
Okay, Brazilian rookies. I met many of you in August. I wish all you I met the best of luck. I'm sure you learned a lot in Rio at uh, at the event there. For the even the new rookies, my advice is the same: is to keep it simple. You're in the middle of building your robot right now. Try to keep things as simple as you can. If you make it more complex, it's difficult to control and finish your robot when it's very complex. So if you keep things simple and you provide plenty of time for your team to drive and practice, you're going to do better at the event. So give your drivers, give your programmers lots of time to practice, and even break things. Break things now is a good time to debug and break things and practice and fix things. You don't want to drive your robot for the first time when you get to the event.
I agree with you.
I look forward to seeing whatever Brazilian teams come out of your regional at Houston. Looking forward to visiting with them in Houston. Hopefully, you will be there too, and we will catch up then. And I wish all the Brazilian teams to have a very wonderful event and build season.
And I would like to um, try to invite all the international teams to be at our regional probably in 2014. The kids would love to see more international teams in our event, and the atmosphere will be great.
I would recommend any team to come into Brazil to play in 2004 and beyond. So, Felipe, I hope to see you, Daniel, and maybe your team and other teams in Houston. Thanks a lot for joining us today for lunch, even though it's probably dinner for you in Germany, right? But it was great to see you. Thanks for visiting with us, and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you very much for this time, and hope to see you in Houston. And thank you very much for all you have done for FRC.
Oh, thank you. Thanks you all for watching. We'll see you next week. We have Christine Sapio from Arizona who's joining us for lunch this coming week. Have a great week. Be safe. Have fun.